Do you want to know how to deal with a pouting child? Well, I'm Nicholeen Peck. I'm a parenting expert, and I teach everyone about self-government all over the world, and we're going to be talking about pouting children and what you can do in this video. In this video, I want to share a personal story about my son who did have a pouting problem, and then what you can do to help your children not have pouting problems, just like I've done for mine and so many others all over the world. I have 4 children, and my youngest one, Porter, was definitely my pouter. In fact, I remember when we filmed the BBC documentary that the camera crew was constantly teasing him, calling him Grumpy Porter, because he didn't want to smile, he didn't want to be in the spotlight, he just wanted to have his regular life. If you have not seen that BBC documentary, The World's Strictest Parents, that our family started, you can click on the link here and it'll take you to that video. But Porter had a little bit of a trouble with pouting for quite some time, and we were constantly correcting it. I'll tell you what though, it didn't take long for Porter to decide pouting did not serve him well. He was trying to seek attention. He was trying to get people to understand him. He was trying to get things his way. He was the smallest person. Everyone was very busy. His older brothers and sisters were loud and doing things, and I think he felt left behind a lot. And because of that, he chose to pout. But after we did what I'm going to explain in this video, Porter decided pouting wasn't something he wanted to do anymore. Even though occasionally he would pout in the future, just because it was an old habit, we were able to easily nip it in the bud so that it wasn't a continuous problem for him any longer. Let me explain what we did. The first thing we taught Porter was what attention seeking is. I know that seems strange to teach a little guy. He was like 3 years old, maybe 4 at the time, but he definitely could understand the lesson. We showed him this is positive attention seeking. This is negative attention seeking. When a person is whining, that's actually negative attention seeking. When a person is hanging on someone and hugging and hugging and hugging all over the place, they are positive attention seeking. Both of these types of attention seeking can go too far, but in most cases, positive attention seeking is considered to be acceptable and welcome. But negative attention seeking is usually never appreciated. So we talked to Porter about the difference between the two. We did little role play examples so that he could see. And then at that point, he realized he was doing negative attention seeking. We then explained the way to stop negative attention seeking was to seek to be understood in a more productive way. So we teach skills in our home. In fact, in my Teaching Self-Government Parenting course, I teach 4 basic skills to children. All of these skills have one step in common, and that is to have a calm face, voice, and body. So Porter already knew these skills, but at this point I reminded Porter about the step having a calm face, voice, and body in all of these skills. We practiced having a calm face and what a calm face was not. We practiced having a calm body and a calm voice, and then of course practiced the opposites of those things as well, so that he could clearly differentiate between what was calm and what was not calm. Then I reminded Porter that in 3 of the 4 skills that we teach, there's another step that is common, and that is to drop the subject. And that when Porter was whining and seeking negative attention and not having a calm face, voice, and body, he was usually not dropping the subject. He had received a no, or something had not gone his way that he wanted it to, and he chose to complain. That was not dropping the subject. So when I reminded him of the skills that he knew and that all this was considered negative attention seeking, he now had a knowledge of his own behavior. It's so important that instead of just attacking the behavior with a consequence, that we actually teach the children what they're doing, what the results are, and what they should do instead. Of the 4 basic skills, probably the most useful skill for conquering pouting is the skill dysfunctional. disagreeing appropriately. And this is because the whole point of the skill is to help a person be understood. In fact, disagreeing appropriately should work for children most of the time. When I say work, it should always work that they get understood, but sometimes they should also be able to change your mind. And that's what I mean by it should work a lot of the time. If they are going to decide, instead of going to midbrain and pout, to go to front brain and to think about your point of view and their point of view and to discuss it openly with you, whoa, that should be rewarded. That is good self-government. So how do you disagree appropriately? There's multiple steps. You look at the person, keep a calm face, voice, and body. Say that you understand the other person's point of view. Then you share your point of view. You listen to what they have to say, and then you say okay and drop the subject. If a child can learn how to converse with other people, not just parents, but siblings and teachers and other people in their lives too, with this type of skill of disagreeing appropriately, they feel empowered, they feel mature and grown up, and they oftentimes get their way too. So once they use this skill and it works, why would they ever go back? Well, most of them don't. In fact, many parents who take my Teaching Self-Government Parenting course will say to me about this skill, can this skill be used too much? I have children that are using this skill all the time, and I feel like it's too much. And I'll say to them, you don't have to say yes and agree with their point of view every time. You can still say no sometimes so that they learn to decide whether it's worth the effort of disagreeing appropriately or if they should just say okay and drop the subject that time. And they say, oh, okay, that's probably what I'm doing wrong. But I always remind them it's such a good thing. If they are overusing it, that means they are seeing this skill works. It's productive and it's way better than complaining, attitude problems, whining, all of the other things that they've been trying to do to get understood and to get their way. They can be more mature than we really know they can if we give them the skills to use. If you have a child that pouts, it's important that that child knows ahead of time how you will correct the problem when it arises. So when Porter was a little toddler, we had a calm down spot that he would go to. Every time he pouted, we would take him to the calm down spot. Now we had to pre-teach this to him ahead of time. We told him, Porter, you know how you whine sometimes and you pout sometimes and it looks like this, and we would show him what it looked like. And then we said, every time that happens, then mom's going to gently take you by the arm and say, oh, Porter, you're whining. We need to go to the calm down spot. And then I'm going to take you to the calm down spot, and that will be a place where you get ready to get a calm face, voice, and body and say, okay. And once you can do that, then mom will give you a big hug and a high five, and then we'll talk about it. So the whole point for Porter is to be understood, right? But we can't be understood until we get to a place of calmness first. So he had a calm place that he was going to go to. And that way, I didn't have to power struggle with him. I recognized, oh, he's pouting right now. We have a plan for this. We will go to the calm down place. And then after he gets calm, we do a correction, which involves some pre-teaching for future success. Then he gets the opportunity to accept a consequence. So part of this calm down and correction process does mean he earns a negative consequence. It's the right kind of consequence, and it's done with some good proactive teaching so that hopefully in the future he won't have the same problem as often. Please remember, with little children, their prefrontal cortexes are not fully developed, and so it can take them a while and lots of repetition and practice before they finally internalize the skill that they need. Now, I know some of you are thinking, yeah, but the pouting at my house is done by my 15-year-old. It's not a toddler like you keep talking about. No worries. These skills work for 15-year-olds too. In fact, I started teaching self-government skills to foster children who were all between the ages of 12 and 18 years old. And it was only after I was working with those children that I started teaching these skills to my then toddlers at the time. And my children have been raised all the way up to adulthood with these skills. In fact, when they get to adulthood, because we all know adults pout too, they'll say to me, you know, Mom, I'm really glad that I know how to accept a no answer. You know, Mom, with my boss, I disagreed appropriately the other day, and it really worked out well. Let me tell you about it. I'm so glad that in our family, we learned the skills for communication so that we didn't have to use communication methods that are not effective, like pouting. Did you like this video? Be sure to subscribe. And if you did like this video, I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy my next video, which is how to get a defiant child to obey.